A word, hook up with my sister. Interesting. It was bad enough with, I'm not going to air out names, but it was bad enough with this name and this name, but you really had to get with her too. I just don't understand why I'm not enough. What more could you need? And how could you manage to pull so many girls when you're such an ugly, fat, effing son of a B word? Whatever. I'm not ready to accuse you of anything else. This is just because I'm supposed to have surgery, and I don't want you to hear it from anyone else. I'm not telling you this for pity or to make you feel guilty, even though you are. I'm writing to let you know that I'm releasing you. I don't want to hear from you, and I don't want you to hear from me. Be happy and never try to come crawling back to me again. If there was anything I could enjoy before I die, it would be to not have to see your face, your effing horrible face, again, wandering around these halls. That is all. Now I can go and be chopped up in peace. P.S. Get effed. And then it says, goodbye from somebody who is crazy and madly in love with you. I mean, does anyone want to claim it? I mean, obviously it was somebody in the school that has our class. It's yours?
I'm gonna take it.
You're gonna take it? Yeah. Are you the cheater or are you the cheating? It's not yours. It's not yours. I promise you it's not yours. You want to look at it? Do you know who it might be? No? It does have a name on it. It's a nickname. You guys might be able to help me figure out who the nickname is. Do you want me to read the nickname? It says, well, it's to a guy named Diego. I don't know if you guys know a Diego or someone named Diego. But it says, love Frida Kahlo. Do you guys know who Frida Kahlo is? Frida Kahlo is an artist from the 1900s. This is a fake letter. This is a letter that I wrote. It's a true story, but it's about Frida Kahlo, and she's an artist that we're going to talk about for our next project. So this is fake. It did happen, though. It's a real story, but nobody wrote this in the whole school. I wrote this about her real story. So, transitioning, we're going to talk about Frida Kahlo today in our next project. Did I get you guys? A little bit? A little bit? Is that good? I kind of ate with that. I'm not going to lie. That was good. Okay, so Frida Kahlo. Okay. All right, this is Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo was a Hispanic painter in the 1900s, and she died in 1954. So not honestly too far off. She's still considered a contemporary artist. She is known for her oil paintings, specifically her self-portraits that she painted, obviously, of herself. Within her paintings, she uses symbolic themes and objects to talk about different types of themes, and she uses lots of vibrant colors within her canvas paintings, and they look a little bit different than what you might normally see. So they're realistic, but they're not 100% realistic. They have a sense of surreal to them, so they're a little bit surrealistic. They're a little bit, they fall under the surrealism category. So just like the hands that we worked on, we're going to kind of jump back and kind of talk about surrealism in a way. But some things that she talks about within her paintings are the ideas of femininity, so being very feminine and different things that come with that kind of life. Her heritage, she's Hispanic, so she talks about lots of Hispanic culture within her pieces. And she also talks about her struggles with infertility. So infertility basically means that she could not have children. And she discusses that within some of her paintings. So Frida survived a vicious accident when she was only 18 years old. And this accident prohibited her from having children. So she got hit, I think she got impaled by something I think it was a steel metal rod. She got impaled in her lower abdomen and it bruised and it kind of basically broke her uterus. So she could not have children after this accident, which she's 18. So that's really, really, really young. Some of you are almost 18 years old. And so that kind of just took away part of the life that she was really excited for. She really wanted to have children within her life. That was one of her dreams. She wanted to be a mom. And so with that being taken away from her, she was bedridden for quite a while, like years. And so her mom gave her a mirror and paintbrushes and paint, and she decided that she wanted to start doing self-portraits of herself. So she looked in the mirror every single day and she painted from what she could see in the mirror of her face. And her work reflects both her culture of Native Mexico and also contemporary artistic trends of her time. She painted roughly within the 1930s to 1940s, so somewhere in that era. So contemporary artistic trends of that time. She was very, very ahead of her time. She was very contemporary within her views. She had very specific political views. Her artistic style was very modern compared to what others were painting at the time. And she was very, very outspoken. So she was very opinionated about certain topics, which usually back in this time for a woman, women were kind of silenced back in this time. Men kind of took the whole rails with everything. And so they were a little bit more in charge, I guess you could say. And so women were kind of taught to kind of and not share their political views or any views of that matter at this time. And so she kind of went against that, and she was outspoken about what she wanted to say, and she didn't want anybody to basically tell her no and you can't speak. She went against that. So this is her husband. So this is Diego Rivera. This is who cheated on her. Okay. They were married for about 25-ish years. So with a break in between. So obviously he cheated on her with multiple women. And the last straw was him sleeping with her younger sister. So that actually did happen in real life. So that's not made up. That's actual, that's deep. That's archaeological evidence right there. But they ended up getting back together. She forgave him after I think a year or two. And so then they ended up staying married until she passed away, which is kind of crazy to me, but that's just me because personally he doesn't look like a person I would go back to, but that's just me. Moving on, we're gonna look at a couple of her pieces of artworks that she has created. So again, these are a little bit weird. They're definitely, like I said, ahead of their time. Definitely not something that you see every day, but this is called The Two Fridas by Frida Kahlo. And you can see within this painting, obviously we have something going on with these two people. These are two self-portraits of herself. And so one of them is dressed in a white dress, white clothing with all this blood. And her heart is getting ripped out of her chest and given to this other figure of Frida Kahlo. So lots of different people who have studied her work think multiple different things about this piece. A lot of people think of betrayal. A lot of people see her as, her being depressed or her taking. There's a biography of all of his different albums and songs that he's created. That is what a discography is. It's looking at a collection of artwork. So if we take that and we look at that with Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo's discography, if you were to look at her paintings before all of this happened, before her surgery, before all of the infidelity and all of the cheating happening, her work was actually really positive. It was vibrant, it was bright. She had a really great mindset going into it. And then after all of this happened, you see a really big shift within her artwork. And it started to almost look like she was depressed, because she was. So she took that idea of being depressed and all of the emotions and the feelings that go in with it, and she put it into her painting. So you can really see the difference from before and after within her artwork. If you were to go timological, you were going to go in time all the way down her paintings from the first to last. So we're going to take the idea of using symbols and symbolic meanings within our next project. So you guys are going to be making a split self-portrait. So for the self-portrait, a couple things that we want to talk about are our outer self compared to our inner self. Our outer self is what people initially see when we look at somebody. So if somebody were to look at us, they can visibly tell, oh, Miss Titsy wears glasses. She has blonde hair, blonde brownish hair, and she wears gold jewelry, gold earrings. She has two piercings, and she has a certain sense of style. Those are things that you can see on the outside of somebody that you don't really have to talk to them about. I don't have to have a conversation with Caitlin to know that she has purple hair. I can look at Caitlin and I can tell she has purple hair because I'm just looking at her. Now, if we were to talk about your inner self are things that people don't know about you right off the bat. You would have to have a conversation with me to know that my favorite flower is a tulip. Okay? We have our inner self, which is where we kind of hide a lot of stuff if you think about it. Because if you're just walking around, obviously you're not shouting out to the world, I like Kendrick Lamar, I like tulips, I like butterflies. You actually have to have a conversation with somebody and get to know that person to know some of these inner things. So we have emotions, we have struggles, we have thoughts, we have hidden strengths within us, different things we like, our favorite things, our least favorite things. And those are the things that we hide from people right off the bat. So we have our outer self and our inner self. So these two halves we're going to represent in our self-portrait. I'm going to show you an example in a little bit to see what it looks like. But a couple of different questions that I want you to think of going into this project are, what do people see versus what they don't see? What emotions